Hello and welcome to my channel. This is Russell's Rants. Boy, do I have a rant for you today. So, today I was looking on Stephen Harper's website. I got a little upset. They started talking about how well they treat the veterans. Yeah, that's totally why they shut down the Veterans Affairs offices. And that's why, it just makes me so angry. I'm going to try not to be too angry, but I'm warning you folks, this might get ugly. So, the thing is, is one of my biggest problems, is the Harper government. First of all, we elected him, which, by the way, I still think was rigged, Now, you've got most of Canadians that disagree with the Harper government. But yet, what does he do? Well, I'll tell you what he does. He ignores all the protests. Are you aware that over 64% of Canadians opposed Bill C-51, the anti-terrorism bill? So you would think, okay, well, if Canada is a democracy, then shouldn't we have the right to protest a bill? Right? Now, if y'all don't know what a bill is, or what some of the definitions are, just leave a comment below, and I'll be happy to inform you. Now, the thing is this, well, let me tell you this. This government is going downhill, and it's going downhill very fast. Now, the reason why this government's going downhill really fast is because y'all are brainwashed, and there's no good way to say it. I'm sorry for the negative comments and for the negativity that I have to put towards this. However, this is absolutely necessary because y'all are brainwashed morons. Not all of you, well, most of y'all. So I wanted to make this video to let you know that y'all have to wake up. Yeah. So if you ain't gonna wake up, I'm gonna bitch slap you and make sure you wake up. Now, I don't mean wake up as in you're sleeping and you're physically, you're in your bed and you're fucking snoring. No, I don't mean that. I mean that you're not awake in the sense of reasoning, that you don't realize that this government is fucking you over. And I'll tell you this, well, let me tell you this, it's not the terrorists that are taking away our freedoms. Now, a lot of y'all want to ask the question, is terrorism real? Is it a real threat? My answer to you is yes, terrorism is real. Are there such thing as terrorists? Yes, there is. Now, here's another question, Are all the combatants, or the enemy combatants, in Afghanistan, Somalia, back in 2006, and in Iraq, and different places in Pakistan and Syria and whatnot, are those threats real? Well, you got to look at it from this perspective. Most of those enemy combatants, they're not terrorists, They are considered terrorists under the laws of their country, only because if they are making actions that would undermine their government, so, i.e. protesting, demonstrating with arms, fighting against their government, that is therefore terrorism. Now, the way we define terrorism, is any and all actions that would undermine the safety of the government or ruling class. So, what does that mean in English? Well, that basically means that if you oppose the government, you are a terrorist. If you disagree with anything they say, you are a terrorist. Now, if you want to look terrorist up in the dictionary, basically it means the word. Like if you want to go to the word, not the legal definition, because the legal, I'll tell you this, okay? The legal definition of a terrorist is much, much different than the actual definition of the word terrorist. Because an act of terrorism is any act that may cause terror. What is terror? Terror is basically the heightened fear of individuals. So causing a terroristic act is to cause harm to people or innocent or other. Okay? So an act of terrorism is basically when somebody, blows up a hospital or a bunch of kids or something. Technically an act of terrorism would be, a guy goes into a school with a gun and starts blasting a bunch of kids, right? That's an act of terrorism. Okay, people? That is terrorism. When you hear about those shootings in the schools and stuff, that is an act of terrorism. Okay? Terrorism is when a psychopathic individual decides to cause terror for people for the mere purpose of causing terror. Okay? Now, if somebody goes out and decides to blow up a police car, or somebody goes out and they demonstrate or protest the government, or they go and they say, well, we don't necessarily agree with the ruling class right now. We don't, for example, we don't agree with the Harper government. oh shit, you don't want to say that. No, because the legal definition of an act of terrorism is not what I stated before. Okay, that's the literal definition. Okay, the legal definition, let me tell you this, okay? The legal definition of terrorism is any person or persons that may cause damage, whether it be physical or through the power of illegal protest, which, by the way, protesting is illegal in this country now, according to the Terrorism Act. If you don't believe me, just look it up. Read the whole bill. Before you pass judgment and say, oh, nonsense. Oh, he's just talking out of his hat. Before you start saying, well, he's just an angry protester that didn't get his way, blah, 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 blah. Okay? Before you brainwashed fucking idiots start going off about, oh, it's nonsense. No. Go back and fucking read the whole bill. Okay? Just do it. Do it. Don't take my word for it. Just do it. And then, when you're done that, go read Regulation 23310. Okay? It is a federal law that was put in place in 1939 called the Criminal War Measures Act. Okay? Look it up. I'm serious. And don't just look it up and go, oh, well, that was put in place to, because Prime Minister Stephen Harper said, well, that was put in place to protect Canadians. No, it was not put in place to protect Canadians. It was put in place to protect private corporations where their best interest is money, not your safety, and they have no interest, okay? They have only interest in protecting buildings, important structures, and money. Money, which, by the way, doesn't exist. But that's a whole other story on itself. Now, as I was saying, though, terrorism, okay, the legal definition of terrorism is talking basically about your right to protest is non-existent now, because you have to have a permit and you have to go through the proper channels to be able to actually protest. And now the law basically states that you are not allowed to oppose Bill C-51, and you're not even allowed to talk about it. So I mean, hell, making this video, I could go to jail. Okay, just for making this video. So if I go to jail for making this video, that'll just help prove it. So go ahead, OPP, you know, the Ontario Provincial Police. Go ahead, RCMP, the Royal Canadian Mounted Police. Okay, go ahead, arrest me for this video. Go ahead, I challenge you. Come on, you know where I live. Come down and arrest me. Right? But you won't. You know why? Yeah, well, they might, you never know. But they won't, because that will further prove the legitimacy of this video. You know exactly who I am. You know where I live. Okay? So let me tell you this, okay? If something goes wrong and I disappear all of a sudden, or I end up in jail, that'll be proof right there. Because let me tell you this, I don't do any, on a daily basis, I don't do any criminal activities or nothing like that. Okay? All I do is I stand up for my rights, and I tell them, look, you ain't gonna take no rights away from me. And unfortunately they are, but I'm fixing to put a stop to it. And I want you to start a movement and start realizing and start waking up and realizing, hey, Canada is not a free country. When you can stand up and protest and protest and protest for the last 25 years, okay, and nothing has changed, and things keep on getting worse and worse and worse. The unemployment rates are going through the fucking roof, okay? How many of y'all are on social assistance, right? Why? Because you can't find a fucking job. And if you don't go on social assistance, where the fuck are you gonna leave, right? You're gonna live on the fucking street. Oh, but wait, it's illegal to live on the street, right? People, you need to wake up, okay? And now, if you've got hundreds of thousands of dollars in a bank account, right? You know, you have to look at it from this point of view, okay? You have to try and step in the shoes of somebody that is middle class or low class, okay? If you have a great job and you've had that great job for the last 10 fucking years or 20 years, right? Then you can't comment and say, oh, well, you know, my life is great, so everybody's life is great. You know what? Not everybody's life is great. Okay? And y'all just have to wake up and realize that when the voice of the people doesn't matter anymore, then we're no longer living in a free country. Anyways, this has been a rant. Thank you for listening. Legend Russell. Follow me on Twitter. Subscribe if you want to see more videos. Like this video if you like. And God help us. God bless Canada. Peace.